everybody. This is from the tabletop. I'm the Wraith. Today we have with us your local N7,
What's up?
Chasix,
Hello.
and Redline.
Howdy doody.
Guys are idiots. So we're continuing our game of. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Our anchored session, which we're playing in a game called The Deep Forest, which is sort of a reskin of that other game, The Quiet Year. Yeah, that's what it is. Great. So we're just gonna jump right in here, so we can keep things going. So I was the one that took a turn last. So if I'm looking at my list, Joe is next. Do you want to go, or do you want someone to go before you so you can remember how we play this game?
Nah.
All right, you're on it.
Give it to me raw and wriggling.
Hell yeah. All right, the card that is being drawn for you is with my comically large deck of cards, the 4 of diamonds, the 4 of summer.
Okay.
Read us them
We're in
deets.
diamonds. Oh, we are in diamonds.
Yeah, we are in diamonds. A young monster lashes out at the community. Who
Ooh.
is it? Who does the community blame for their anger?
Ooh.
Or
Or a monster who lived before the occupation claims that the new community is immoral. Start a project that reflects their fundamentalist call.
Interesting. So before the occupation, I wonder
No,
what.
and wouldn't that so us being here at the Tower of Ascension and Descension, that is our occupation, right?
Well,
So
it's in the terms of the game, they're talking about like this is supposed to be this forest or whatever is supposed to be a place that did belong to the monsters, and then the humans came in and occupied it, and then the humans left, and now the monsters are taking back over. So they're talking about that period of the humans being in charge, being the occupation, basically. It's obviously a little different for our setting. Wow, words, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, I'm open to some interpretation for what we want to do there, but
can we? I'm gonna use an existing item that we had kind of put on the board here.
okay.
The Dead Titan.
All right.
Okay, so we talked about this has to be like 100. I can't even remember how tall we had. Maybe we didn't give it any.
I think you said like 12 feet. I feel like I remember it was the
Okay. So I mean, it's a little smaller than I was just thinking, but that's fine. So, the size of a large, or like a normal tree, right? Not a big
boulder
tree.
the size of a large boulder.
Yeah, a boulder. That's right. I'm not going to get into the whole research. They're not quite done with it yet.
They are not
But
done.
I'm
Correct.
gonna, yeah. I'm gonna say that the research that's being done on it, they've been disturbing the earth around it.
Okay.
They're not quite done yet, but some of the researchers begin to kind of feel sick, and they start to pass out while they're working.
Okay.
Something is seeping out of the ground. And these kind of creatures that they're not very big. I would say they're only like maybe 6 inches tall, but there are hundreds of them, and they have this ability to kind of just like phase through the ground itself, and they come to the edge of the ground and they kind of like phase in and out of existence. So you see them one moment and then not the next, and they all of a sudden, like as they pass out, if you don't move whoever passed out, they kind of slowly phase over there, and then you just see hundreds of them kind of like almost like they're enveloping that researcher.
Okay.
And in doing so, they kind of zap them of life. And I don't know if we want to go any farther than that. I mean, we can. I don't know what else to do after that.
So which one of the choices are you going with here for this?
I'm going to say that part right there would be just a young monster lashes out of the community. Who is it? And I don't think I've addressed the bottom one. Who does the community blame for their anger?
Oh, okay. Sure. I mean,
Well,
so
actually, I did. It's the researchers. They're disturbing the ground underneath in some way, and it has kind of made these creatures angry.
okay.
I'm going to say the whole group of them is the monster, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. So generally, when we're talking, I mean, because we have the confusion of the language here. When we're talking about monsters, we're talking about us, the anchored. Anytime it mentions humans, we're talking about the cartographers. So, uh, um, so we're not talking about like necessarily like literal monsters in this capacity, but
Wait. I'm sorry. So and we're the anchored, right?
the time copy people, alternate reality people, yeah, we are the anchored. So when it says monsters, it's talking about us, just because of the difference in the setting. Maybe, I mean, hey, that was pretty dope though. I mean, you do have your research concerning the skeleton finishing soon, so maybe we can table that for a second and bring it back for that.
Damn it.
But I love the enthusiasm of ideas right off the bat.
Okay. And
said,
okay,
good
so
effort,
here's
but
the other
no.
question: are the monsters also the community then?
Yes, the
Yes.
correct.
This verbiage is dumb. All right, so
it's because of the change in setting. Yeah, it's
because I'm Iridia. I'm gonna say like one of the last copies of Iridia. We'll say that's a young monster then, right? I mean, young, unless young has another meaning here.
I mean, since we're sort of
They're
fudging
all like
some of
different
this,
ages.
yeah, since we're fudging this a little bit, I'm open to interpretation of what young means.
Oh, I thought they were all the same age. They were just
No.
from different timelines.
No, yeah,
Nope.
we have different ages here.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can
Yeah.
there can be younger ones, but we've also used different things to mean, like, because they talk about like larger and smaller ones, and we've used different things to mean
Gotcha.
to be for that.
I like
So
that then. I'm gonna say a young Iridia does.
okay,
And I think she's just. Um, I think she's been neglected. There aren't very many childlike versions of. Unless anybody who disagrees with this.
oh,
There are a few childlike versions of the anchored, and she feels that there's not much for her to do, and the rest of the anchored blame the older Iridias for being disconnected,
oh,
and
interesting. Okay,
like some of the shitty Iridias have been. All of the other versions of of the Fawyts and the Mathises and the Bracks, they all take care of their young and teach them. The Iridias do not.
okay.
And they
How
let them kind of run amok.
how young are you talking here? What's
Um,
I mean, you mean like
I'm
teenager or
say
like
no 12. I'm gonna
okay,
say 12. Yeah, and from in Iridia's lore, her father is the one who passes down the tinkering, right?
mm-hmm.
And the jewel making, and so her father is still alive at this point. And
Okay,
the other Iridias don't, like, their father's already passed. So the youngest Iridia here, this 12-year-old Iridia, she is ripped from her father and doesn't remember her father dying essentially of alcoholism.
mm-hmm.
And the that is, I think it's hard for her to. She wants to go back essentially.
Yeah.
The other Iridias, like they've been living a life of there's really no home for them, and they don't have anything to go back to, so they're okay with moving from place to place, making jewelry for whoever. Obviously they have their own unique storylines, but they kind of share that same. They don't really have a home to go back to in. I can't remember what their home. What was the nationality that they started with an N?
Naris, yeah.
Naran. Yeah, Naris. So but yeah, so it doesn't say here though, what exactly the lashing out consists of.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, if do you have any ideas for what that looks like? That's kind of
um,
up to you.
so the ghost library is kind of new.
Uh-huh.
And I think she sneaks into the ghost library portal and she essentially tips all of anything that is not that she just goes in and just rips books up. I mean, it's just absolutely destroys it. And the other Iridias use that too. They're always knowledge seekers. And you can, it's like 100% to get back at the Iridias who've just kind of, um, you know, let young Iridia, kind of just do whatever and really provide no guidance while she has to watch the other older versions of, like kind of coddle their, or not coddle, but at least like help their younger versions grow.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very interesting. All right, so that's this one. All right, so we're ticking down our clocks here. So the uh search/research concerning the skeleton completes. So it's Joe, since that
Okay.
was your project, you get to narrate what that looks like.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll say all the things I said that happen,
Okay.
and then they get
Terrifying,
through
love
it.
it.
Yeah. So they push through it anyways. No one dies. But they come close to death multiple times, and everyone's able to kind of recoup what's going on. Like this kind of loss of energy, essentially. Well, what the researchers figure out that it's not a skeleton at all. In fact, it is it's not a skeleton of like any kind of mammalian creature, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a plant. And it's a
Mm.
plant that was designed to look this way. And so the reason that it's kind of planted that way, it's just kind of grown that way. And they find this out as they, the essentially like they realize that it's not bone, it's essentially fossilized kind of like wood.
Mm.
And it kind of creates this if you ever seen fossilized wood, it's almost stone like,
Yeah, yeah.
and it can kind of appear very bone like as well. But it's just not quite as smooth. And and so they see this as it goes into the ground because it doesn't have legs. That's when it kind of spreads out into this root like formation. So essentially the skeleton is like the torso of like a humanoid, but as it grows in, the spinal column becomes roots. And these creatures that have been, killing them off. Like this thing is still alive, right? It's still alive at the root level,
Mm.
and so this is kind of its last attempt to fight off.
So it's like
Um,
a Venus flytrap.
well, I would say,
Or like symbiotic, like creatures with like a symbiotic relationship with the plant that are protecting it.
yes, yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, they aren't. I was going to say they're part of the creature, but I think it makes more sense that they're kind of a symbiotic and they live in that root system. So they're kind of seeping out through the roots.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that would actually be kind of cool. Maybe it is kind of like a Venus flytrap where, it doesn't move at all. The researchers have not figured out, did it have flesh? What did it look like? Was it always, kind of a skeleton like,
Uh-huh.
but they find more of them not too far away that are, vary in size as well.
Okay, so that was gonna be one of my questions: is this just one, or are there a bunch of them? So okay, so there's more than one of them. My second question is, I mean, since they've been doing research and stuff on this, is this something that is native to Alardan, or is this something from somewhere else? Is this something that was, some kind of weird cartographer
Ooh, I
thing that
like
they
that.
pulled here? That is
Who
alien to
else?
Tandara or to Alardan.
Um, I'm trying to, I don't want to just use a really um Brack is really like nature-y, right?
Yeah.
Um, would Brack, you know, would Brack be kind of the tracker because he's a tracker, right? Like, what was his profession in? Um,
He's like the closest thing we have to a ranger, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm kind of getting at, right? And w- would you say Brack would kind of like he would know almost every plant in in a certain area after a time of being there? Like, Chris?
I mean, more for their medicinal properties than for uh like as a ranger, but yeah, probably.
Right, but he would know this plant would kill you versus this plant. I mean, just the general knowledge of like what plants do what, probably.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. Well, I'm gonna say Brack disagrees that they are. He feels that they um, are not from Alardan, but Iridia, she doesn't really know that much of plants, so she's just trying to do it from like a scientific thing. She believes that they are from Alardan, but I think going on like Brack going on instinct, the Bracks really think no. You're certain after you've surveyed the area. Um, you're like there's no way these don't seem like any other plants that are here. They feel like transplants from somewhere else at the very least.
Cool. Interesting.
Transplants?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, cool. So that's a thing. I wonder. Yeah, great. All right. Okay, and then you get to take your action for the week. So uncover something old, agree on something, or start a project.
Okay. And what? Okay, I get the agree on something. Well, actually, I don't. Can you explain what each one of those does again?
Mm-hmm.
Like what are are these like actionable things that we need to figure out as soon as I say them, kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, so this is you deciding sort of a thing that is happening in the community for your turn, basically. So the uncover something old is you establishing like, hey, there were these people that found this thing, or this something or other happened. I'm trying to think some of the examples that we've had.
Portals.
Did we
I think the portals was the uncover something, because then we were like, oh, we found these cartographer or whatever, tower portals, and now we're using them.
um yeah, I don't remember.
And the tower portals are the green things, right? And they allow us
Yeah,
to
the
kind of
green
travel
is it
around
for, yep,
faster
yep, yep,
now.
yep. Yeah, that, or yeah, and those are that action is sort of designed to be something that lets us introduce some new kind of wrinkle into what's going on, some maybe potential problem that needs to be addressed, or whatever. The agree on something is just like a little kind of brief conversation that happens among sort of specific characters or groups of characters, just to sort of give us a window into seeing sort of what people are feeling in the community about certain things. Usually, that's supposed to be about like a specific topic. And then the starter project is you saying, hey, we're gonna have at least some amount of people that are going to start working on this thing, and it's going to take this many weeks to do. And so the research on the skeletons was a project that you had done before. So once that ticks down, the person who started the project gets to talk about what happens, what finishes about it.
I like projects. I'm going to go with another project.
All right, let's do it.
And I think the near the watchtower, um, because the soil is, I think maybe we'll say easier to work with because it's close to the river. They're going.
Oh, that's trading
trade
outpost.
outpost here.
That's the trading outpost.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we built a watchtower too. Did we not build a watchtower?
No.
I think we kind of are the watchtower because
Because this is
we're the
tip on
hangar is
yeah,
at like the top, sort of. So
that makes sense. Is the
I
hangar
think
right here?
we
Is
can.
it does it poke out here? Is that what
This
that
is
is?
the hangar out the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's sort of like built into the ridge mountains here.
Yeah.
So there's the two towers in the front, and then the hangar comes at the back.
Yeah. So I think well, you tell me if this is a project.
Sure.
I think a group of people they want to try to figure out where, I was going to say try to build a tunnel underneath, maybe they could go there, but I think that they want to find what the source is of the barrier that's out here. It's either they don't know, is it um see, this is more like, it's not really a project, it's more like an investigation.
Well, so
um
we know the radius that the thing is being generated basically from the relic that's in the fountain
the
thing
relic.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
So we know that.
Okay. um Shoot.
I mean, think
You
about
could.
we
Well,
think
actually, I
about
got a
what.
good one.
Okay, great.
Um in Yesterweek's Iridia's like here phasing, right? Because she's like almost like, well, she was like praising to it, right? Or like doing
She's
something.
doing some kind of ritual here at the fountain. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And what were the what were the other options? I think I'm backing out of doing a project.
The uncover something old or agree on something. If you need to look there, that's on the last page of the I think of the Oracle document. Is the
Yeah, page 5.
little thing that says what the actions are.
Oh, there we go. Um.
I mean, I guess a good way to sort of think about
Yeah.
it is: do you feel like there are, what things do you feel like we need to be doing as a community here? Like, what are our
Yeah. I
objectives
think.
and what we can be working
Yeah.
towards to
That's a
do
good
those?
point.
Or if we don't have any, then we can, introduce new things.
Yeah. I think that I would assume that they want to enlarge the radius that's out there.
Oh, okay.
So the red area, that's a, we don't go farther than that, right?
Yeah,
And
it's like
then
the
it's like the
warning track.
buffer.
Yeah.
And so my thing is I feel like a group of people have started a project, perhaps inside of the Hall of Maps, either trying to suppress the field, which they would probably think is dangerous. And my thinking is that at least some of the anchored feel that whatever the map is doing is kind of allowing everyone to exist in this reality. And
Mm-hmm.
so we still are not sure if Mathis is even dead, or if Fawyts' arm is some other place, right? Um, but the idea is that some people believe this is the only reason that it's exist, and then others feel that it's more like a prison that we just can't get out, and
Mm-hmm.
that we're here regardless. And so it's kind of, I don't know, almost like a research, but they're trying to, as a project, to figure out um and Iridia's, the Yesterweek's Iridia is still there, but how do they enhance it, or how do they build a barrier around it to kind of stop it?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, or I mean, the other I could say, because I mean, for one, the Ghost Library is a relatively new discovery here.
okay,
I could wonder if um
like
uh,
cataloging
yeah, I
and
mean, if
putting this
maybe
back
people
together.
are, especially as Yesterweek's Iridio is doing this thing that some people, might see as like really wild and dangerous, with something that is currently a taboo among the community, this fountain or relic. And she's like messing with it, doing who knows what.
Hmm.
If maybe some of the other Iridias, because I think we did establish that there were some of the Iridias that were trying to help and do whatever they could to sort of, the ones that were sort of more on board with like the cartographer stuff. um if maybe there are other Iridias that are like, hey, we need to, if we can't stop what she's doing, uh because maybe other Iridias are trying to keep us from stopping her or something like that, maybe we can just try and go do some research on like what this relic thing even is, what it can do, and be able to sort of uh just get some more information about what is up with that, so that we can have a little more knowledge about what's going on. But I don't want to, just offering that as
Yeah,
an
I don't
option.
think
I don't
we.
want to
I
tell
think
you sort
we
of what to.
only. I think all we did was find the library. I don't think anyone actually like looked.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be a perfect project then. Yeah,
No,
I would say that'd be something that Iridia's would do too. would be to research and catalog the
Mm,
library.
I
yeah.
mean, are they going to have to put it back together after?
Yeah, this will be like a
Well, I
4 week
mean,
project.
because one of the things one of the things that Daily established about the library was that like you go in there and you like find a book on a shelf or whatever, and then the next time you come back, like shelves are in different spots and everything is completely
Yeah,
different from where it was. There's like,
that would
you see
which
things out
would
of the
make it
corners of your
even.
eye and you don't
It
know
would
Well,
what's
make it
going on.
even
ooh.
and it makes it even sadder because 12-year-old Iridia went in there thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna show them," and then she like comes back a couple days later and it's like
It's all
All
completely
fine.
perfectly
fine
pristine.
again.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, but like everything's in the wrong spot. So I
yeah,
think maybe the Iridias, maybe they look for patterns in there,
Yeah,
and they
totally. I
spend
mean,
time.
I think yeah, trying to figure out like what the deal with the library is and like you said, finding patterns about like how things are doing,
and what's even in there?
what's even in there. Yeah, I mean, I think that sounds like a great idea uh for something. So let's do, I have no idea what font I was using or how big it was. I hope this is right. Catalog the ghost library. How long do you think that's going to take? How many weeks?
What is it? From what to what?
I think from that's a good question actually. Um,
Is it 1 to 5 or one to
I
four
think
maybe?
6 is the maximum. Projects.
6 weeks it is.
Yeah, minimum 1, maximum 6. And I think I say if it would take more than 6 weeks, you should be splitting it up into
Multiple projects.
rolled.
A little bit RNG in here.
Mhm.
I like it being on the side of
On the
like
long.
longer too, and the reason being is that they're going to want to be able to figure out this pattern. They're going to have to get a large amount of data,
Oh, sure.
and so the Iridias, they spend time essentially like going in, going out, like marking specific books where they are, and then like where they are the next time
Mm-hmm.
if they're there at all, like that kind of, and they just keep doing it over. It's going to take a long time.
Sure. Yeah, or like a book that they marked yesterday is there, but it's not doesn't have the markings that they put on it. But then like the next day it's in a different spot, but it does have the mark. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Okay, so now that was your turn, so now let's move on. Next on my list is Brack. So Chris,
Ah.
you get a card, and your card is the 5 of diamonds.
The 5 of diamonds. Attempts to finish a project end in squabble and anger. Remove a project die from the map. That project has failed. Or, a monster is found dead outside the settlement. No one has confessed to the crime. Agree on something about who is guilty.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Kid's dead. The kid who messed up the library is dead.
Oh no.
Ooh, mornings Iridia. Nice.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just going
Damn, I was
for
gonna
it.
start a project with that too. You just fucking killed her.
Turns up dead. Where sorry, that was the 5. Where is she found? What are the circumstances of finding her? Oh, sorry.
Outside.
Also, just a pause. So, Joe, I need you to add little drawings to the map about your skeletons. Someone did a ×3 for you, which is nice. And also about what was the first thing you did on your turn? The young Iridia messing up the library. I mean, I guess young Iridia is dead now, so
Yeah.
And the
maybe-
library changes
in the
anyways.
library.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess you don't have to draw big. But if you want to draw something with the little skeletons about how they're actually
Little
plants
purple
and
bugs or
there's
something.
little bug things that are terrifying.
Oh, I like that. Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Hell yeah. Okay, sorry, Chris. Continue.
Hell yeah.
I think they are found. They are found at the bottom of the Tower of Ascension.
Okay.
And very clearly, like, fell
Oh.
a
Okay.
great distance down the Tower of Ascension. And so that will
No one has
no one has
confessed the
confessed to
crime.
the crime,
All
so
right.
it'll be interesting to see who would push.
So we do an agree
Push.
on something. So the way this works is, you being the active person here, you will start. Let me read the rules. Let's do that. Open with a statement about a problem or issue in the community. Going clockwise, everyone else then gets to weigh in once, sharing their agreement with your statement or describing what their silence looks like. Remember to indicate which monster is speaking or not speaking. Agree on something never results in a concrete decision. Everyone weighs in or stays silent, and then it's over. That's how conversations work in communities. There is much left unsaid to preserve the peace. Blah blah blah, blah blah. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, start us off.
All right, I think so. We're talking about
Poor
who
little Iridia.
who killed this poor little Iridia.
Yeah.
I think the Brax immediately accuse other Iridias of doing it because they're the ones most invested in the library projects and being in the library. He says, I think it's clear that one of the other Iridias did this. This was retaliation for one of their own trying to show them the error of their ways and not caring for their own people.
I'm just gonna go next. I guess I don't. I'm defying the order here. Who's next in the order? Dalo should be next in the order if we're following the thing.
Okay. I think. I think I'm just gonna pick the voice of one specific person, and it's Moonrise's Fawit.
Oh,
Um,
the bride.
she's the mother. Yes, the motherly. Sort of. She's like kind of
The
one of the
kindness monk.
matrons of the. Yeah. She's like, and she doesn't have anything to say, but she is like clearly deeply affected by this young girl's either death or murder. And I think she just sobs for weeks afterwards.
Sad. As
She's agreed on that she is crying.
Yes, from this group of Brax that was accusing Fawyts, Black Masses Brack, accusing Iridia's, Black Masses Brack steps out and says, "There's only one thing that could be responsible for this. It's those creatures. They did this."
Oh God,
Goddamn
him
Captain
and his
Ahab.
him and his fucking he's got a problem with these
Right?
creatures.
He was the one with the arrow, right? Am I remembering that
Yes,
correctly? All right, great.
yes, he went to go hunt them and got bested, and now he's mad about it.
Okay.
I mean, he could be right. She was in the Tower of Ascension, I guess. That's the picture you drew for a dead Iridia. That's so funny.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, it's got to be that little green goblin with a blood pool at the end of the.
That's fucking tragic.
That's hilarious. Okay. I think the Iridias, they're apathetic until they get accused by the Brax. And Eon's Iridia in general, um, steps forward, and she shows a little bit of, empathy for the fact that a younger version has, but they all feel that younger Iridia didn't really help at all, and that's what they care about is like, their pursuits for, knowledge and, furthering their own goals of getting the fuck out of here or whatever. Um, and so she actually points the finger um, at the Brax and say, and you're Volteshi, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and says, this seems like the work of a Balteshi.
Damn.
Just throwing some casual racism around. Jeez. So
Yeah, you definitely didn't just prove my point.
I am interested actually, specifically with Aeon's Iridia, who we have listed as basically one of sort of the three kind of assumed leaders of the whole group. Um, where
Right.
where does she fall on this sort of kind of divide of Iridias, of ones that are like, into cartographer stuff, like with Yesterweek's Iridia and the relic stuff, and doing things that other people think they shouldn't be doing, um, as opposed to these, cataloging Iridias.
I think she is on the side of, you're talking about the ones that are in the Ghost Library.
Yeah.
I think she's in charge of. She is kind of the one that broke off. She feels that it's dangerous what the Yesterweek's Iridia is doing.
Okay.
And so she is kind of in charge of all of them, and the entire idea behind how they're going to catalog.
Great. Okay. I thought it was important to state where sort of she was in.
Yeah, that's fine.
In
Politically.
political,
Yeah,
yes, the political
yeah.
Iridia landscape here. Okay.
Poligadia. I'm sorry. I'll go now.
All right, so let's tick down some clocks. 5 weeks left on the Ghost Library, 1 week left on the Trading Outpost, and the Relic Ritual completes. So I had described this sort of ritual that Yesterweek's Iridia started doing, as she was taking seemingly random objects and like very clearly placing them around this fountain with like very detailed care. She was like putting things in midair and they were staying there. I think over the course of this, I guess it was 2 weeks that this has been going on. Like she's been there the entire time. Like, if anybody's been like keeping track, like she hasn't slept, she hasn't left. She's been just like doing this thing, like walking in circles around it, like moving objects, saying random things that people don't understand. And this has been going on for 2 weeks straight.
Oh man, I could have killed her.
Well, you missed your
Missed
opportunity. And the whole thing with her, like, kind of physically, like, sort of phasing in and out of reality. I think over the course of these 2 weeks, everyone sort of sees her, sort of like coalesce a little bit more in a way that she hasn't in a long time. And I think she also looks like she's getting, like younger, and there are certain people who have sort of walked by and like were struck by how like young and like strikingly like beautiful she looked as she was doing this in a way that people were like really surprised by. And sort of like, yeah. So this is going on. There are other Iridias that were trying to help. There are some that are like kind of guarding her from other people, trying to interfere with it. And all this is going on. And eventually there is, for anyone watching, for anyone that ends up sort of in this atlas, I think there's at the point at which this happens, there's probably a couple scattered people um that were sort of maybe moving through the atlas or whatever. There's this uh big sort of like crack of noise and like a flash of light from the relic, and then like everything in the atlas, this hall of maps just like freezes, like stops, um and it suddenly sounds like very very quiet, like very sort of like muffled, the kind of the way that like video games do when you go like out into space and like everything gets sort of muffled and whatever. um but for anyone there, you see Yesterweek's Iridia open up her eyes and look straight at this relic and put her hand into the fountain and onto the relic, which is definitely something that no one has ever done this whole time. And you see her eyes open, and in this like very quiet, um, sort of muffled, you hear her voice softly, but like clear as anything, as she goes, "Iridia, Iridia, Iridia," and she just keeps repeating that name, like over and over for like minutes, maybe even like up to an hour. I mean, I guess, Joe, how long did it take you for Iridia on the boat to find the chamber that one night? Do you remember the like the little solo session we did where Iridia was in
Yeah,
her room?
you're talking about the actual chamber where the like sentient kind of like heart of
Mm-hmm.
the ship was. I'm gonna say like well, here we go. Let's put a little chance on this bad boy. 3 hours.
So she's there chanting this name for 3 hours. Um,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
uh, there's gaps and pauses, and eventually, the this sort of like light that is emanating, that has begun emanating from this thing, sort of starts to like fizzle a little bit, and then eventually, kind of goes dark. And Yesterweek's Iridia sort of steps back off this pedestal. um some of these objects that were sort of like floating around, I think the objects in this like big orrery had begun to like spin around like more and more frantically over the course of this, her chanting this name, and everything sort of stops, like floating objects fall back to the floor, the sound sort of returns to normal, and she has this little like hint of a smile on her face, uh and she says, like almost as if to herself, like nods a little bit and is like, yes, they heard. uh and then she walks away and goes about her business.
Totally not ominous at all.
And that's that.
Would they just be normal, Iridia?
All the Iridias are like, the Brax already don't like us.
So I guess, maybe I'll try and draw some random objects around this ritual here. So I mean, to put this in slightly meta terms, um, oh, you know what? I think what happened, one of these things in the orrery, like as this thing is like fizzling out, like one of them like cracks. So there's some stuff that is appears slightly damaged or something. Um, yeah. she was communicating through to the ship. In doing that.
Does she tell anyone that?
No.
Okay,
So
great.
I don't know that anybody here understands that. But yeah, so Joe, the voice that you heard calling to you from the little sort of relic-y thing inside of the mine grove on the ship was the voice of Yeshua Ridia.
The games are connected.
Okay. All right, so this was Brack's turn. So you get to take an action now.
I do?
Yeah, because you did the card. That was me just finishing the project there, and now you get to
Okay.
finish your turn.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Oh, I'm sorry. I put a line. How do I remove the line?
You should be able to just like use the select tool and click on it and delete it.
Get out of here, line. Yeah.
You did
All
it.
right. I did it. What needs doing around here?
That's a good question.
Got some
What's on the other side of the chamber of horizontal conjunction?
Down here,
Yeah, you
we
could
don't know.
you could discover something new there if you wanted to put something else in the chamber of horizontal conjunction.
Ooh. You want to find out what's up? Literally, what is up?
Whoa.
Well, that's only if you're facing that direction. It's down if you're the other way.
Well, well, we learned how to do shipbuilding, right?
We learned how to build the ships, but we haven't,
But we haven't built the ship.
started building the ship yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we do. We start that project. Let's start
All
the project
right.
of actually retrofitting this shitty old boat. The thing that us asked us to do.
The thing that
when
us
left.
asked us to do when us left. Yeah. Build
There
the
are, in
boat.
fact, like trees and stuff on this mountain, right?
Sure, probably. I think we also said we found like a forest
Oh, okay,
world
great.
through one of the portals that we were,
Oh
there's
yeah.
there's stuff.
Yeah, weird cartographer fucky trees to
Yeah.
build our ship with.
You
I
know.
think that's fine.
Fucky trees.
How many weeks is that going to take?
I think that will take at least 5 weeks.
5 weeks?
This is gonna be a nice ship.
Hell yeah.
With our master shipbuilder who's never done this before.
Well,
But he's been on them.
he
Yeah.
was
knows.
I have this is Sunsets Mathos. I have him listed as he became a quote legitimate ship captain for a merchant company as opposed to other Mathoses.
Right. So he's been on ships.
So he knows his way around ships. He knows what ships are.
And
I
we
know
learned.
He said, "I know what ships are. I can build it. I know what skyscrapers look like."
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, Dela, your card is the 6 of diamonds. I definitely shuffled these, right? Yeah, I shuffled.
Yeah, are they
these.
just in order?
4, 5, 6.
Okay, the
I
6 of
did
diamonds.
shuffle these. Yeah. Okay.
A project finishes early, say how it is resolved, who prove themselves most valuable in its early completion, or
Ooh.
charismatic, anchored, harnesses the excitement and goodwill of the community, start a new project.
Ooh.
Oh, ship's done.
That would be incredible.
Mathos is really good at this.
Let's Let's see. Catalog the Ghost Library, establish trading outpost, build the boat. Um. Hmm. Finishes early. I don't.
Wanna do.
Prove themselves most. Charismatic anchor harnesses the excitement and goodwill of the community. Start a new project.
What do we have to be excited about
Um.
right now?
Um. 1 second.
Don't you do it.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Well, here's a question for you. Do we think now, because Yesterweek Iridia has figured out what's going on with the orrery and the relic, and she's pumped about that, and any of the other Iridias are pumped about that, do we think that maybe not even specifically her, but some of the other Iridias wanting to sort of redeem Yesterweek, Yesterweek's Iridia would
Okay.
tell other people and be like, hey, listen, it's actually the orrery and the relic, they're not actually taboos.
Okay.
It's so that we can communicate with the versions of us that are outside of here.
Like
Like
we can
the
figure
reason,
something out
yeah,
about this.
we can learn about this safely, and like, do we believe that's a viable course of action? Because if so, then what I would say is one of the Iridias convinces the rest of the community to start a new project by being like, listen, if we continue, every day, once a day, we try to talk to the ship through this, uh, through this relic, I think that we can prove to the rest of you that it is, in fact, something that we can adopt, something that we can use. Like trying to move a taboo to the adoption
Yeah,
section,
sure. I
basically.
mean, I would definitely see that as something that people would get really excited about. Because I mean, I could imagine having people say like, "Hey, maybe there is," because it felt like sort of accepted wisdom for most of this that was like the relic is in the fountain, we can't do anything about it, we don't want to touch it, it's
Yeah.
responsible for these the barrier that we die if we go through, supposedly, and that's just sort of the way it is and we're stuck here. If people start to be like, hey, wait a minute, maybe there is something that we can figure out about this, I could definitely see that being a really exciting thing.
Yeah.
Who is that? Do you think that's like Aeon's Iridia, like the leader
Um,
Iridia, or is it somebody else?
no,
Or
I think that she would agree that, yeah, that's exciting, but I don't think she would head that project because
okay,
she kind of distanced herself and is attempting
sure.
to. I think the one who actually does try to convince everyone is Daysprings Iridia, because she's kind of a busybody and she was like always like, she's a social climber, like she obviously is very charming then. So I think that Daysprings Iridia is the one who ends up being like, listen, everybody calm down, like I know it's fucking scary, but genuinely I think that this is a good, we'll be able to communicate with our, the prime, occupants of this,
Yeah.
of the other ship. Like I think we can communicate with them, and this will make our lives easier.
Okay. So some clarifying questions about Daysprings Iridia then. Is she was she one of the ones that was excited about like cartographer stuff? Was she in that crowd?
Oh man. um
And even like past that, was she one of the ones that was like helping
I think she
Yesterweek's Radio?
I think that not necessarily that she was helping or that she was like a cartographer Iridia. She decided to choose whatever side looks like the winning side at the moment.
Okay.
I think she is I think she sees an opportunity here where all of these iridias that have sort of cut themselves off from they've sort of not necessarily isolated themselves, but they've made it like hard for other people to trust them. I think she sees now that there's an opportunity to sort of raise the rest of themselves in social status.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, listen, we can do this, we can fix this, everything's going to be great, you just watch.
Additional question: is she the Iridia that killed the little girl Iridia?
We haven't we haven't figured that out yet.
No one can prove that.
I demand to see evidence.
This is a big Iridia episode so far.
Yeah.
All of the Iridias are fucking around and finding out.
Well, they're the ones that start shit.
A classic of the genre.
I demand to see evidence.
Okay, so that was the 6 and the charismatic. All right.
And I think that takes.
Oh, right. So what's
because it technically is a new project.
does
I
start a new
think
project.
not just convincing other people, but attempting to then when they do start attempting to communicate with the other ship, I say that takes I don't know, maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
so
because we're
experimenting
on
with
the
the relic.
ship. Yeah,
Mhm.
experimenting with the different times of day and like when they think
Yeah, I mean,
someone's
so
gonna be in that room.
I'll throw in a piece of information here that may be important about the way we approach this. But one thing that is sort of has been established as kind of true is after the attempt that was made to make that initial contact, the prime Iridia on the ship understood that it was one of the other Iridias trying to contact her, but that connection kind of went dead.
Okay.
So there's whatever ES Iridia was trying to do with the relic, strained it in a way, like one of the things in the orrery cracked or whatever, like that. That connection is not currently linked up. But I mean,
Okay.
there's
say,
other things that I'm sure that we can sort of figure out about what's
yeah.
going on
I'll say 3 weeks then. A week to convince everyone else, a week to fix the relic, and a week to contact the ship.
Okay. Three weeks to experiment with the relic. Okay, so I don't think that gets ticked down this week since it just started.
Yeah.
Go ahead and why don't you draw something in there about our charismatic Iridia whipping up the.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Crowd.
I'll put a little. I'm gonna put a gold crown next to the eyeball to show that she is a.
So while you're doing that, establish the trading outpost finishes this week. Hey Chris, what's up with that?
I think. I mean, they've been, basically trying to flag down passing airships, and I don't know. I just do the people in the towers, are they aware of like the armada? Do they have any knowledge of the wider world of?
Well, some of them have lived in. We've established that some of them have lived in.
Some of them have lived in Alardan.
Alardan for a while.
So some of them, yeah. Let me. Where's the big map? Oh, here it is. Let me pull everybody over to this map real quick. I'm sorry if you're in the middle of something.
That's fine. I made it mostly.
So the towers and the anchored, you guys we're down here.
Mm-hmm.
So I would I mean, obviously the some of these Toberon are moving around. Tobrin is where the Armada is. Tovoln is where Marshall's Cloak is. Toshanth and Topenth are the big thing there is like basically like a military outpost for the Marshall's Cloak people. They have a thing there. So I mean, you know, there might be other smaller groups of settlements, you know, maybe over in these mountains or something, or you know, here. So I would say it's probably relatively rare to have stuff kind of going in and
Just like
past.
floating on by.
But I mean, you know, we took the 6 weeks to do it, so we figured it out. So something happened.
Maybe there's like a small town nearby that's like, you know, just a regular like ground town. They're
Mhm.
not living on a
Just
Yeah,
big
stuff
giant beast.
stuff out in the wilds in the like just straight up on the in the Gale Wilds is those are things that are going to be like slightly more complicated because it's dangerous out in the Gale Wilds. So it's dangerous like not on a Toberon. But they are things that exist. So
Wow, I just haven't had any time to think about this, you know?
I hate you.
really sprung this on me.
You're a shithead for that one.
Let's see. I think what actually ends up happening, and this is probably metagaming a little bit,
fine.
but one of us, one of the prime us's
Oh,
has sent a ship back because of
okay.
the message that Iridia received and realizing it was from someone at the tower trying to contact them.
Okay.
And like we don't have time what we're doing right now to bring, you know, the entire, you know, city ship back south.
Yeah.
But they sent like, you know, like a runner ship essentially. And because of that, we're able to establish like a trade route. And also be able to send a message back to the prime us's physically while we're trying to figure out how to do it.
Okay.
Via.
Oh man, know. So do you get kind of like hooked up with the like the trade the trade guild that's on board the Horizons and like that kind of thing, so you're getting them hooked into the network?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
I mean, it makes sense. We're on a cartographer ship. These are cartographer towers.
Yeah, you know.
Like definitely sharing information.
All right. So one thing I will I do want to
towers.
Can we preface, but can we also say we send a report back to the prime us and be like, here's what we've done so far. Here's what the towers do and has, and like
we're trying to contact you, so
we're trying to contact you about your extended warranty.
Your cars about your ship's extended warranty.
Like just giving a full report so that the prime us's know what we've discovered.
Cool. Yeah. So and that's actually putting you right around quote unquote like current time with where we are in the regular campaign. So yeah. Cool.
sure.
That's fun. All right. I hope I don't break any of the timeline stuff here then. One thing I do then have to note.
Hope you're taking great
You already
notes,
did
brother.
That's why I record all these. Put them up so I can listen to them later. And then still get everything wrong. So the if we're sort of linking up with the timeline, the one thing I do have to note is that the river here is starting to become less um what is the word for a river that is like less? It's like it's drying
Shallow?
up.
It's turning into a
Yeah.
crick.
Yeah.
There's a crick.
Yeah, there's a crick.
Yeah.
Right. Love that for us.
Love that for us.
Good thing we have another water source in the tower.
Yeah. I mean, one of them is milky. And who knows what the deal
Yeah.
with this one is. But yeah. I mean, has anybody tried drinking the milk water yet?
I think that was advised against because I think Chris made a comparison to the monsters in the Milky Sea or something, and it wasn't good.
It's great. Okay, what was that? What just happened? That was the clock sticking down.
That was the clock sticking down.
So draw, Chris, you can work on drawing, a flourishing trade. So what does that mean in terms of like, so we can get more food and stuff, we can get more supplies that we need. What do you
Maybe we're trading weird cartographer wood from our weird cartographer forest.
Yeah, maybe. So
But
I mean,
we're trading sort of with our ship, right? So maybe
or something,
know.
or their people in your ship are like contacting other people on their trade routes and getting them to come visit and whatever. Do you? Because I know you had said that you intentionally put the trading outpost as far away as possible from the towers themselves. Are you intentionally trying to keep people away from the towers, or are people coming and visiting? What's that kind of vibe?
I think the idea is that that we would be looked at like we're a ground civilization, and so that the average person who came to trade would not know that we're living in these magical cartographer towers, that they might want to come and loot and pillage and shit.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's probably kind of hard to miss them, but
right.
But sure, yeah. Fair. All right. Well, you can draw in and put some detail on our flourishing little trade outpost
I'm
there.
on it.
Okay. This was still your turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So you get to take your action.
I kind of can't decide. Because I have two ideas, but I think let's see. Ooh. I think. Damn, dude. I can't decide between starting a project with the weird bone bugs or agreeing on something about the death of the kid.
Okay.
So which of these do we think is currently more interesting?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the bone bugs is interesting for sure. I think it is also like important, I guess, to have a conversation about the dead kid. But yeah, I don't know. I know that's a good.
Okay, I think I'll do. We can always do the bugs whenever, but
Sure.
we probably only have a certain amount of time to
That's fair.
figure out uh the dead kid. I think I'll do an agree on something, and I'm gonna start with. I think tomorrow's Brack, having seen how his
His wife
new wife is incredibly
upset. Yeah.
just like heartbroken and upset about this poor, because before Chris killed her off, I was originally going to have her attempt to basically adopt 12-year-old Iridia,
no.
and he
You're
killed
so
her
close
off.
to
So
having a
now
family.
yeah, so close to having one of the
She was-
first families on this.
She was 2 days away from retirement.
She was literally 2 days away from adopting this poor neglected child,
Oh,
and instead
Lord.
that kid is dead. So having seen how like horribly upset his wife is, I think tomorrow's Brack asks a couple of other like trusted people to him. I think this is a very maybe small conversation. It's not.
Okay.
I know it's supposed to be a community issue, but I do feel like he
sure.
tries to keep this under wraps and is like, I'd like to start like an investigation with a few of you and see if was it an accident that she fell, or was it purposeful, and was she in fact murdered? And I'd like to do it today.
Yeah, if you're doing this with like trusted people, I think like this is probably like Eon's Iridia's here, Eventide Zahida, you know, these three sort of like leaders of the group. But I think so Eventide Zahida, who's like, you know, scarred veteran Zahida, says there's definitely with the way that some of the factions have been fracturing here, it would be good to make an attempt to build some unity, though it is possible that something like this could backfire and open these rifts even further. And that's Joe next.
Yeah, draw that card.
No.
No, you have to say something.
We're doing an agree on right now.
Shit. Sorry, I really was. I was ordering pizza.
Tomorrow's Brett, I'm making the suggestion that we should investigate
The
old
dead kid.
girls, the dead kid, dead child Iridia. Tomorrow's Brack is an agreement.
Well, I mean, should I be doing stuff on behalf of the Iridias essentially, or
I
you
mean,
can pick.
Yeah. So
who are we agreeing for? Is my question.
I said Eon's Iridia is probably in this conversation, at least as the sort of one of the leaders here. If this is a closed group,
she's like, does it? How is solving this going to further any of their goals? Is her question. And kind of her answer, I think. She kind of leaves it at that. And so I would say that she doesn't really care about investigating this.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm deciding who I want to speak as.
One of the Fawyts just immediately suggests like torture and we'll definitely get the answers.
does Moonrise's Fawit have something to say about this?
I don't think I think he's. Well, I spoke only as tomorrow's Brack. If Chris wants to say that he's Moonrise's Fawit, I think that's fine. I was doing it under the assumption that he is like
speaking on
she's
behalf
grieving,
of both of them,
and so he's like taking the initiative here.
Well, you said she cried for a whole month, right?
Yeah.
She still can't bring herself.
She's still crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it. Yeah, can we make a project for Moonwise's Fawit
think-
Finish
crying?
crying.
I think what it is the dusk.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah. A representative of the dusk.
A representative of the dusk, kind of moved by how, like, unexpectedly for themselves, moved by Moonrise's Fawyts strong feelings about this.
Mhm.
Come and they say there are too few, like, in sign language, obviously, but they say there are too few of us to allow us to be killing one another. If we want this community to survive, there we've got to get to the bottom of this. And the person responsible must be punished.
Like Fawit.
Whoop whoop whoop. Okay. That's our thing. So that's me. My card is the 8 of diamonds.
Sure, it's not 7.
It's not the 7. Because the 7 isn't in the deck. It was one of the ones I removed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense then.
So you really didn't shuffle
No,
them.
I did.
You're like, I'm gonna put every card in order.
Just to confuse everybody.
He did one of those false shuffles.
Yeah.
Tricked himself.
Well, because I had set up the deck beforehand, and so I had left it as it was because I had shuffled each of the 4 suits and then put them all. I was like, did I shuffle the suit? I did. I just. Anyway. So the 8. In a moment of need, a charismatic monster reveals resources previously withheld. What problem do they resolve? Or an unpopular monster is discovered to be withholding resources from the community. Are they punished?
Gee, which Iridia are you gonna pick?
Yeah. This entire game is Iridia slander.
Literally. It's her villain origin story.
Okay. This is. I'm trying to decide if I want to kill multiple glass birds with one stone.
One glass stone.
One glass stone. Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Okay. So, maybe skipping a couple steps here. But for the sake of just doing a thing, we just talked about doing an investigation. They sort of start shuffling around, trying to do things, and kind of accidentally find out that the at least one of the escaped the Fawyts that have been out here
Ooh.
have been sneaking in.
Those little turds.
And withholding resources. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Ready? Here we go. Oh man, I'm doing so many things. Have been coming in and they've been taking some bits of the milk water from the Tower of Ascension. Because they have found that it's useful for something.
Bunch of nasties.
And
Milk water.
in the process of this, they realize
Won't stand for semen thieves in my tower.
that what happened was that 12-year-old Iridia found one of them sneaking in, and they pushed her off the top and killed her.
Damn.
Are they punished? I mean,
I mean, one of the Fawyts is definitely.
yeah. Uh,
The dusk descend.
I think they do, especially after the um
Do they only punish the one who did it? Like, do the
well,
escapes give up
I think
the
they
one who did it?
I think they basically find out that they've been sort of coming in uh like oh yeah, okay. So yeah, maybe it was just one of them. So one of the 5 that's out there. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think the Dusk as a group um maybe even like
the most terrifying Fawyts you can think of.
outside of like not being sort of like uh without like any kind of group consensus to say like, a lot of people are obviously sort of up in arms with this. Some people are shouting about it, some people are whatever, just leave them alone, whatever. I think the Dusk takes it upon themselves. They just march out there, um and they straight up murder the one that was responsible, um and uh they they leave the the rest of them, I think, but they like root through their camp and find other things that they'd been sort of stealing.
So that's how they find out about the milk water.
Uh yeah, or something. And
Damn, they're stealing our shit. They're killing our kids.
yeah.
How did you first find out about the milk water?
Where were you when you learned about the milk water?
Yeah, but I think they realize that the I guess I should figure out what they've been using this milk water for. I
Well,
think
it could be it could be a project.
this was like their uh they, they realized that the milk water was like sort of like the thing that they had been living on, like food wise. Uh like they were trying to, do some hunting kind of out in the hills here, but they're, civilian Fawyts that don't know how to do anything. So we're just kind of scraping by. And so we're really desperate, and somehow figured out that this milk water was actually like very highly nutritious, um, or something. And so that was kind of what they were doing. But now one of them has been killed, and they're probably pretty not happy about it. But yeah, and they march out there, kill the one, and then march back. And that's that. All right, I'll draw that in a second. Tick down the clocks. Wait, were these both? Yeah, these are both the same.
Man,
Okay.
I thought I would have started so much shit when I decided that kid needed to be dead.
Who would have thought? Um. Okay. Well, I was gonna maybe start a project for doing an investigation, but the card did it for me. Um. All right. So I
You
think
could do a
the
milk experiment.
milk experiment.
Hey, you ever
I
done a
think
milk experiment?
the Dusk. I'm gonna start a project. I think the Dusk. The Dusk are like pretty shook about a lot of that, and so they sort of kind of start this project of their own, where when you all had come down through the Tower of Dissension, in the the prime versions of you, there were those like corrupted quill things flying around, whatever, in the darkness. I think we haven't addressed that at all. So I think they're still kind of there, or something, and whatnot. So I think the Dusk are like antsy enough that they want to go, kill some things. And so they're going to start a mission to clear out the Tower of Dissension.
Hell yeah.
Because they're pissed. I think that's gonna take 4 weeks because they want to really get everything out, get it all cleaned out. All right. So that's that. Now I need to draw. Okay, Iridia, Joe, you are next. Your card is the 3. See, I told you. Oh, thank you for putting all the stuff in the chat. I forgot we were supposed to be keeping track of that.
Don't worry, you're recording it all anyways.
Also that.
The 3 of diamonds.
3.
All right.
Silence.
All right, so the choices are: someone begins to address an urgent need, no matter the cost. Start a project that will alienate some monsters in the community. Or someone demands that a constitution be written. What rules do
Ooh.
they propose that anger the community?
No murder.
Oh, fuck.
Actually,
my
I think
favorite
I
thing.
like that. Someone does demand. It is Eon's. No, Twilight's Iridia. She hasn't really done much. She's the con artist.
She's working. Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna say she's very old. And so
Holy
she
hell.
had retired before she was sent here, lavishly, and I'm gonna say she's 82.
82. This is Twilight's Iridia.
Yeah.
So she's a retired con artist. A lavishly retired con artist.
Yeah.
He said. All right, I just want to add that to the.
And she says, nobody can get mad at me and kill me when I
Yeah.
con you.
Me specifically. I must die of old age. Also, bring me tithes.
She works she works with the Aeon's Iridia, but they don't necessarily see eye to eye, but she is convinced Aeon's Iridia to try to gather the rest of the leaders and form a constitution, and set a list of ground rules. And I think the one that they angers the committee the most is that there is a curfew and a check-in from all members. Also, it establishes that, and the other Iridias do not like this at all, including Eon's, but she agrees to it regardless. That it establishes rules that the the anchored must are essentially whatever they come from, whatever anchored that whatever prime they are from, they were responsible for each other. And I would say, yes, there are certain ones that are like leaders. It establishes a council of all the anchored, like a true council. These are the ones that make decisions. For the rest
so like one of each
their
of the
prime group.
One of each of the 5 are
Yes.
like on a council.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And yeah, and it is not Eon's Iridia. It is Twilight's Iridia that is on the council.
Well, okay. So this is
so she's trying to con herself into being a leader.
Pretty much.
So this is what rules do they propose that anger the community? So she's proposing this as like, this is the way we should run our thing. There's no.
I think the things that, okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry, she demands a constitution be written.
Right. So this is her proposal.
There's no action. Yeah,
Right.
This is her proposal to do it through.
If you want to, if you want to take your turn to, do the thing, then by all means. But just to say, yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, I would say, well, then let's agree on something. I would say I'm going to
Well,
speak on the behalf.
do you want
Okay,
to?
go ahead.
Sorry, I just so if we just agree, because I think the purpose of the agreeing on something, I think, is sort of already covered in what you, well, maybe not completely, but in what you're
No,
saying, sort of was the reaction
yeah.
to it. I think I personally, I think it would be more interesting if you went and said like, "Hey, I'm starting this project that we're gonna draw up a constitution."
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know, just like do the thing rather than just sort of like taking an extra turn to talk about the
Instead of
thing.
actually, instead of like, okay.
You know what I mean? But
Well, I mean, unless they decide that we don't need a constitution at all. You know, I mean, essentially, I'm saying, this constitution would really, I think it's rigid, and it establishes not just the like the rights for each prime offshoot, but also I think it's very controlling. And that's what
You could always
that
start the
proposal is what the
project.
anger.
You could always start the project and then finish it as a different character.
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, yeah, or if you, I mean, if you do want to sort of take a second to go around and talk about like what we think should, what these characters think should be part of this governing uh rule or whatever. There is value to that.
Yeah. Well, so my question is like, why am or you're saying that I should just attach my action as a start a project for this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a potential
Sure.
way
Okay.
that we can
I
handle
like that.
this.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll go easier. We can add that to a project. And I think what we'll do is we'll just say the uh the Iridias have asked. They refuse to add any Brax, but they've asked Mathos. Here. We'll actually. Do you mind if I just like pick who? Hold on just a second.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, we can decide how this turns out when it's finished.
Okay,
But if
sure.
you want to
That's
say
fine.
we're starting people are starting to do a constitutional convention here.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. We'll leave it. We'll leave it vague. We
How
won't be specific.
long is that going to take in weeks?
We'll go short for this one. We'll say 2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right. We're going to have a lot popping off here in 2 weeks. Okay. So we are on to Chris. All right, we have 3 left in summer.
We have to. Are we getting through all the cards? Is that what determines?
Yeah, so we'll go through all the cards in spring, summer, and autumn, and then in winter, when we, no matter when we draw it, when we draw the King of Winter, that's the end of the game. So that can be drawn at any point during the last season. Is the way that this works. Jack of Diamonds for Mr. Brack.
Someone sabotages a project and the project fails as a result. Who did this? Are they caught? Someone's caught trying to sabotage the efforts of the community.
Ooh,
How does
this
the
is
community
this
respond?
is so
Either
good.
way.
This like
That one is a good
came
one.
at the perfect time.
Yeah, there's like fucking yeah. Where's the timer at? Is it the left one? Yes. Okay. So you've got Ghost Library, build a boat, and establish laws in 2, and then experimenting in 1. I mean, there's just this is perfect.
And we also have the really mad, angry Fawyts outside, who've already been stealing all of our shit, and
Also
now one of
that.
them has been murdered,
Mm-hmm.
and they're mad about it.
That's
So
a
you
good
really could
point.
go either or on this one.
Gosh.
Oh, so many options.
There are so many options, and I just keep thinking about how Joe went super racist just a second ago and said that the Iridias didn't want the Brax to have any say in how the
Yeah, the Narans don't like Balteshis and vice versa. So I'm just playing into
The Brax sabotage the fucking Constitution. The Brax go full national treasure and they steal the
Oh,
Constitution.
nice. Yeah, I like it. They hire Nicolas Cage.
Mhm.
Wait, which Brack is Nicolas Cage?
It's
Good
just
question.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, sorry, you're right. Yeah, he has now entered your game.
Yeah.
You have no choice.
There's a canonical Nicolas Cage in the
Brackless Cage.
Dumb. I hated that.
Brackless.
That's horrible.
Um, I think so. What it is, someone sabotages the project, and the project fails as a result. Who did this, and are they caught? What happens is the Brax call out. Where's the? Which one is the?
Twilight Iridia, con artist.
The con artist Iridia?
Yeah.
Twilights?
Twilights, yep.
They call out Twilight's Iridia as this entire idea of starting this constitution is just her attempt to grab power.
Grab power.
Which it is.
Not wrong.
And so it's her that has sabotaged like the project, and the project
Damn,
fails because
Nice.
because this woman has specifically just tried to grab power, and she's caught.
All right.
Brax can't do anything wrong, can they?
Well,
Amazing. Actually, you know what? I probably should have.
Hello?
Hello? Who's this?
We're playing TTRPG. You gotta leave.
What?
There, I muted him.
Oh,
Server
was that someone?
muted him?
Who is that?
It's Shams.
Damn.
Oh,
I'll message him. Hold on, just a second. Actually, here
Uh,
I've got this nice thing for all of us. I'm gonna move us all there. Unless would that break anything, Dan?
I don't think so. I hope not.
Oh shit.
the stream has been demonetized.
Yeah.
A child died. Someone screamed. Suicide badass. We said the word racism like 4 times.
Somebody wants to offer a promotion over our channel. Look at that. Posted it in our chat.
Oh yeah. I got to get in there and ban that guy.
It's the one person watching.
I can get in there and ban that guy.
Did you switch us over? Are we?
Yeah, we're switched.
Okay, great. So we're still. Sorry, Sham.
I love how Sham is just in general by himself.
Buddy.
Okay, so I just moved the established laws and governments over there and put an X in front of it because I couldn't figure out how to do a strikeout.
You could just put an X where the 2 is.
Or you know what I could do? Ready for this? The straightest line you've ever seen.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
There is a line. There is a pen line
I
you
mean,
can use.
okay.
I like the line as it is.
It's good, yeah. It's artistic.
Maintain the line.
So okay, so what does it mean that they're caught? That Yeshua Iridia is caught.
I think
Everyone just agrees. It's like, oh yeah, I guess that's kind of true.
yeah, she's kind of being a bitch about this, huh? Um, no, I think she's put on house arrest, basically,
Oh wow.
like
She's
for
put in a nursing home.
a period of time. Like they're just like you don't get to be involved in the in the governance of this anymore because you can't be trusted.
Amazing. Okay. All right. Well, the rest of these projects tick down then.
I'll put some bars on one of these
Yeah.
houses.
Bars. We put her directly in jail. We build a jail and put her in it.
Yeah. You wanted laws. You got laws.
Congrats, bitch.
I'll show you the law. She fought the law and the
I
law
am
won.
the law.
All right. Who's experimenting with the relic? That was Joe? Or no?
No, I think that was me actually.
Was that you?
Yeah,
Wait.
because they're trying to call.
Oh, yeah,
They're
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to call people. The experiment. It was more like there was kind of a few things in there that they were attempting to do.
All right. So what happens? How does that go?
Yeah, I think Daysprings Iridia does manage to convince everyone else and is like, listen, we have confirmation. My sources tell me that we have confirmation. You
My
know
sources?
that my sources tell because, and the reason we know this is because the people are, the Prime Us. They sent people to the little trading outpost, and
Mm,
we said, we've got some physical
mhm.
messages now, and they were like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we heard you over the ship, but we can't figure out how to get it working. Like, we don't know how to do it again, how to like replicate this. And so they fix.
And they would
uh
tell you that the ship said something about, blood of a Toberon, heart of a cartographer, blah, 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 power of the
yeah
ship.
so we yeah so we have all of these like like established items that we need to be able to use this thing. So she's like, hey, if we get these items, we can communicate like freely. So we know for a fact that this is going to work. We know for a fact it's attached to our ship and our prime selves, and it's fine if we pursue this. This doesn't have to be a taboo anymore. I think we move the fountain orrery relic into an adoption rather than a taboo.
Nice. Okay. So what, is there like, okay, so being an adoption, like what, is there something that they figure out how to do with it?
Well, we know for sure that we can use it for communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
At like sort of the very least. Um, I think because are we considering it broken with the cracks in it? Like, is it
Not necessarily broken. It's I mean, maybe like
just
that
spotty?
that part of it is not totally functioning and needs like that other side of the connection, because it was like it's um this is
Maybe
me
the
trying to
adoption then is we can we think that we can safely fix this. So if you see people around the
mm,
orrery and touching the relic, like, don't be alarmed, because
okay.
to communicate with the other ship, we're gonna have to fit. We're fixing this basically.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if there's like some other like kind of wild thing that you figure out.
I don't
I'm
know. I don't know if we've discovered that yet. I think we know that it takes sort of like our day night cycle. Like, it works better at some times rather than others.
okay.
I don't know. What do you like?
I,
Do you
I'm
have other
I'm
plans for the
opening
relics?
I'm open to throwing some wild things into the mix here. So,
Okay. All right.
um,
Hey, what do you say maybe about the rest of these other little, like, are these like mirrors almost, or are they like stones? What are these? Like, what do they seem like to us?
They're like these balls in this like orrery thing that, like those uh it's the things that like spin around like they're like the
Yeah.
planets kind of thing. Um it's the whole this whole thing. I'm pretty sure I have sort of mentioned this to some people before. Oh, particularly Brack, who had the whole like weird vision thing where he went to the crazy place
Mhm.
with the giant upside down tree and all that kind of stuff. There's this similarity between like the thing in the mine grove on the ship, between that thing that Brack saw in the it's all uh they're all sort of quasi related. It's almost like the cartographers were like, this was them trying to make their own version of whatever uh that is, in a way.
Okay. What does uh the thing in the ship do again for the prime us? Did we figure that out yet?
No, I think, um, yeah, because there's a lot that there's a lot that you yeah, I don't think you have much
Don't know about all that
information
stuff.
about like what that
Okay,
actually does. I mean, it's
I
that
would.
that's sort of like the heart of the ship. Like the creature in
Yeah.
there that like speaks telepathically to you, like refers to itself as like the ship, as the Horizons Vision
Yeah.
Correlation, whatever. So there's this idea that that's like, and calls it the Mind Grove. Like it's this
Yeah.
like that's kind of like the brain of the.
Well, tell me if this is too
Yep, sure.
powerful and too meta.
Let's go.
Because my train of thought is, okay, the cartographers, they're like this sort of scary unknown, like they're like sort of godlike,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we don't know a whole lot about them, but we do know that they're incredibly powerful. They have all this bullshit, this crazy weird magic and all this bullshit that does all this other bullshit. So what I'd like to propose is that the rest of these balls, depending on like time of day and like what they're doing with the relic and stuff like that, sometimes you get glimpses of other places like in the glass
Oh shit!
of these other balls. So
Hell
like you
yeah!
can see, and we know that it's that it's current and not like, oh, this is just a vision or something. We know it's current based on time of day and how like often they've like how they, all the iridias and like some of the other like even a couple of the mathoses and like Fawyts and stuff, like they're great at observing things,
Mm-hmm.
and so they notice, they're like, okay, even especially too because a few of them are from, or have lived in a larder, and they're like, hey, I know where that's at, and that
Mm,
the sun shining down, like that's the right time, it would be there. So I think
okay.
these are current projections of like what this place is. So, like, I feel like maybe every once if that's too powerful, that's
No, no, no,
fine.
no, no.
But I feel
I
like
think that's
every once
super
in a
cool.
while they can like see a spot that they're not current, like,
Are you
that's
talking
like
about? And this is using the
miles.
orrery, right? The
Yes,
atlas. Okay,
that like
Yeah,
every once in a while they
I
can
like that.
see a place, that while it's, maybe maybe even hundreds of miles away, like we
hmm
know it's an accurate representation of what that looks like now.
yeah. I'll yeah. Okay, cool. Love that. That's great. So it's you're beginning to understand that this is somehow like linked to uh it's acting as like a link to other places,
Yeah,
and that there's
yeah,
I mean, because that's like the cartographer's whole thing is this, like, messing with time and space and whatever, and
yeah,
so building
exactly.
these connections between it's like the way an orrery is representative of the way like planets are related to each other and
Mhm.
how all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of thing. It's drawing these this physical representation of drawing these uh lines between points in time and space.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah. All right.
Are the planets the movements of the Toberon?
I don't know
As
that
we
well, because the Toberon, we've only had one move so far, right?
Correct.
Recently.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe some of the, or larger versions of ourselves would
I
be like,
will.
I mean, maybe, but
I think. Let's say this, that like you can identify uh specific orbs in these of like, oh, that one is Tovoln. Oh, this one is Tojeth. Like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That it's showing you bits and pieces of that, and that's like um that you're seeing direct relationships between these, and like, you know, you're saying you're able to identify them by flashes you see them of them at certain times and certain days,
yeah,
but you're also getting flashes of them in like alternate pasts and futures, alternate presents, uh all these sorts of things. So there's um but yeah, very cool. Love that. All right, whose turn was this?
I don't know. That was
This
the
was the Jack. This was Chris's turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So what is your action this week?
Did I lose you guys?
Hi. Hello.
no.
No,
Okay.
I think Chris is just thinking really, really hard.
I am.
What you thinking about?
I have no idea.
No thoughts, just vibes.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
The brain ain't braining.
let's start with this. Are you are there things that feel open ended to you right now that we feel like we need to do something about? Or do you feel like we're covering our bases well?
I think maybe do an agree on something,
Okay. Great.
and it would be what to actually, like, what to do with uh Twilight's Iridia.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
and I think coming from who are our uh who are our in charge people?
So that is Tomorrow's Brack, Aeon's Iridia, and Eventide Zahida are the three sort of like assumed leaders.
I think Eventide's Zahida comes forward and says, uh, basically, yes, she did this as a way to grab power for herself, but that doesn't mean she was wrong. That we need uh, some actual written way of dealing with each other, and what she is going through right now is evidence of that. We've got her on house arrest, but is that permanent? Are we going to, are we going to cast her out of the tower altogether? We don't have any laws or any way to say how we deal with each other when one of us crosses a boundary.
Jayla?
I think Um. Oh, you know what? I think. Um. Moonrise's Fawit is probably a big part of this combo too.
I love that.
Considering, now we're like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she's like yes, Twilight's Iridia, um, was obviously attempting to make a power grab for herself, in the chaos and confusion that followed, you know, everything that happened with Morning's Iridia and the dusk and everything. Um, I'd like to propose that while we, yeah, should have, some sort of like laws and stuff like that, I don't think that maybe the answer, um, like, we should try and stick to just no violence, like, as much as we possibly can, because there are so few of us now, especially with the escaped being gone and now one of them being dead. Like, what if one of them comes back, and attempts to exact retribution? Are we just going to kill all of them? Like, where does it end?
Sidereal Zahida, the pacifist Zahida, pipes up in this and says, I agree completely. If we cannot find a way to live together, we will not be able to live at all here. The violence will always lead to more violence. And if we accept that as the way, we will never survive. Joe?
Who did you speak as?
Sidereal Zahida. It's all the way at the bottom of the list.
Okay. Sidereal, what a name.
I think it was Daedalus.
Was it?
From the first game, yeah. The defunct version of the game.
And we've essentially locked away Twilight, right?
She's under house
I mean,
arrest.
yeah,
House arrest.
she's under house arrest. Yeah, we put her in a home.
Okay.
We put her in a nursing home.
Black Mass's Brack is all over that.
Just
Okay, I'm
Turns out
gonna
I'll shoot her
speak
right in the fucking
for
eye.
any Iridias who haven't spoken at all yet. So like yester week, is she kind of back now after
she's not back. I mean, she's still as sort of like detached from reality as always.
yeah.
He's just off in some corner pulsing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she kind of pipes up. She just thinks this whole thing is just absolutely, preposterous. Like, what a waste of time, But I would say Daysprings, Iridia, and maybe Eons and Seasons, they're strictly, violence makes no sense whatsoever. There should be none ever. It doesn't. Yeah. And they're just kind of like, why,
All right. So that's on to Dale's turn, right?
Yeah, that's correct actually.
So Chris, did you need to draw anything for your turn?
I think it was just he already drew the bars.
Oh, sabotage.
Right?
Yeah. That's it.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I drew my jail.
All right.
jail.
The 9.
The 9.
The 9.
9. Trusting in cartographer technology gets someone injured or embarrassed. How? Remove an adoption.
Uh-oh.
Or an elder admonishes some of the other some of the other us about an unseemly behavior. What does the elder say? Add a new taboo. Oh, interesting. Um, um, oh, remove a. I don't like that one. I think I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick the second one,
Hmm?
and uh I think what I'm gonna pick is that Siderial Zahida, because she argued with Black Masses Brack about shooting the big creatures
Hmm.
in the
Way back at the beginning.
Ascension Tower. I think she's gonna do the same shit for some of the Dusk about obviously
Oh.
they haven't cleared out the tower yet, but I think she's gonna try and have a conversation with some of the Dusk about killing the what are they called again?
The corrupted quill things.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
quill. I think she's gonna be like, we don't know what killing all of them will do to the ecosystem of this place. We also don't know if you're even going to be able to like success like who's to say that fine, you kill them all in a couple weeks, who's to say that they don't come back in a couple of weeks and like try to exact revenge? Like we've already seen that the one that Brack shot up in the Tower of Ascension uh has changed its its ways. Like it's staying at the top of the tower, it won't come down. Like we already know that we can affect these creatures, we don't know how they can affect us. I think what you're doing is dangerous, and I don't think we should wipe out part of the ecosystem of this place because we don't know what it will do to the rest of us.
Hmm.
And so I think she's going to try and suggest a taboo of like, I don't know, like wiping out an entire, wiping out species within the tower.
Yeah. So basically it's like she's saying it's like a taboo of um
Taking too much from the
like
tower.
just like disturbing the places we find here,
Yeah,
basically.
destroying too much of the towers.
Do you think it's just limited to the towers, or is it also like, the the forest world where people are cutting down wood for the boat or whatever,
Oh, that's
like
interesting.
all that kind of stuff? So is it
I
like that
think
she's getting out front of like trying to preserve ecosystems or whatever
Yeah,
here?
I think it's like she's like, I think it's okay if we're doing this in small
Mm-hmm.
numbers or batches, but we should allow these towers to replenish
Yeah.
their gifts prior to taking everything, because we don't know what happens when we do that. So I think her taboo, it's not like, okay, you can't do these things, but we shouldn't. Yeah, we should keep a balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very interesting.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's my elder admonishing taboo.
Elder admonishing. Okay. Remember that it's your turn because we have a bunch of projects to complete here. All right, first is cataloging the ghost library. Which is Joe, right?
That is me, yes.
So what do we get out of cataloging the ghost library?
Mm. Um,
Like what sorry, I'll
I would say, um, ooh, I like this. Um, I think the Iridias, um, they do find out a way to catalog it and figure out, where the books appear. So they have a way to kind of like write a list of the books down. But the biggest thing that they are able to discover is, with time and preparation, they feel that they can bring back the dead.
Oh, okay.
Or like cartographer,
Yeah.
like death
Ooh, that's a
magic or
good.
something.
That's really cool because these are the opposite of the. They don't want to play with the. I will say they uncover the ability to use something with the cartographer's magic, and now they have to struggle on whether or not that they can use it, or they should use it. It's there at least.
Interesting.
That's the end of the research. They uncover cartographer magic
So
that
they
could bring somebody back from the dead.
okay, specifically bringing someone back from the dead.
Yes.
Okay.
Or bringing you back to a time when they were alive.
Oof.
Well, maybe we don't
Since
know
their
that
time,
yet.
Who's- Wow. That's like okay.
Because they're weird time beings and shit.
That's like the coolest version of it's not
Hope you're
bringing
writing
someone,
this all down, Dan.
bringing someone back from the dead. It's bringing you back to when they were alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. All right. So
Can
they've
we do an
discovered
agree
some.
upon? Yeah.
It's when your turn comes up, you can do some stuff. That was just
That's right. This
finishing,
is just the
just
project.
finishing the
Yes,
project.
yes. Okay.
All right. So we have delved into some deep cartographer secrets here. All right. Build the boat.
Good boat.
What's up with that
Boat's
boat?
done.
The boat's
Good
done.
boat.
We did it.
Boat's good.
Boat's good.
What's it like? Tell me about the boat.
Huh?
Tell me about the boat.
It's a good fast boat. It'll go fast and it'll be good. Not a whole lot
Adam
of
Driver saying good boat.
good boat.
Good boat.
Good soup. Good soup.
it's what's which one is it? It's the Mathos. Sunset's Mathos. He just like steps back, just nods his head, crosses his arm. Boat's good.
Slaps his hands, dusts his hands off. Good boat.
Good boat.
So it is in fact completed.
It's finished. I think it is a exceptionally fast boat. And pretty lightweight. Does not have very much cargo space at all, but it
Okay.
is what it is for,
The
which
race
is
car of boats.
it is it is a Ferrari of boats.
Draw some wood planks over that boat. Color that boat brown.
All right. So
Color that boat brown.
very fast. Not a lot of
Put some
cargo
big old
space.
gold sails on that thing.
Was there anything else you said about it?
Good.
Good.
Yeah,
Did
just
you write
right.
down good? Did you write down that it was good?
We don't even give it a proper like ship name. Like every ship here has some
Well,
long-winded, proper.
that was my
ship
next
name.
question. Do you want to pick a name?
The good boat.
I have
The boat of infinite goodness.
I will copy this list. And I will
Boat McBig good.
paste it in the chat. I also
Boaty McBig good.
I also have a name that I initially was kind of intending to save for this boat. I don't know if I want to do that anymore, but it's entirely ridiculous because the name is every letter of the alphabet, like a word
Oh my god.
Oh my
I have
gosh.
to find, and it like
It's that sentence that they make you type in
almost makes yes,
computer school.
it
The fox
almost
jumps over
makes
the lazy dog or
sense.
something.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I should have it in my notes somewhere. I don't know where though.
Like a big ass red tail on it.
No, that would be probably be in here actually. Okay, are you ready for this? I'm gonna read it off. Just because we don't even need to use it at all, but I just need to have someone appreciate that I've written this
Yeah.
name.
We will be your witnesses.
Okay. The name is A Bargained Carelessness, delivering each fingered galvanization homeward into Jasper Keeps, lest many nimble opinions polarize quietly, returning, sanctifying, triumphing, ultimately vindicating wanderers, xenolithic yet zealous.
Yeah, that's
Well, that, yeah.
give that to one of the Armada so that we can make fun of them.
That was
So we can
brutal,
absolutely
Layla.
clown those fools.
But yeah.
We see their ship and we're like, yeah, we're destroying that for sure.
Are the sails red? Are the foils the sails red? Is that a
Yeah.
decision you're making?
He put flames on the
Oh,
side?
put flames on the side. It's very good.
Fuck yeah. Uh, God, that's so funny.
All right. If you want to use any of those ship names, let me know.
Stone it.
Otherwise we can come up with another name later or something. If you have like ideas that you want to put in a name and want me to like come up with something, I can do that. Or if you just want to do something different, that's also fine.
What about that?
Ooh, I like that. An arrow shot in haste shouldn't be an
Yeah.
arrow.
Yes. That's what I wrote.
That's what you wrote.
You're telling me that you don't want to name it the North American X-15, which is the fastest plane in the world, with speeds at 4,520 miles per hour?
Is there
The where's your oil?
American Army noises.
is there another word you could use for shot? That would be my only. I think there's maybe an interesting yes, the boat that has 5 engines. If not, I'm cool with that, but potential opportunity for
We're so fucking stupid.
yeah. It's very ooh, okay. I like that a lot. That's very good.
You could put loosed as well.
Loose would be
Ooh.
good.
Which do
An
you
arrow
prefer?
loosed in haste.
Let's do that.
Arrow loose and haste?
I like that's a good name.
That's a very good name.
I
You
still
know
like
what?
floats,
You know
don't
why
it?
I thought of that is because every time I watch Lord of the Rings and they say fire, I'm like, that's not what they would have said. No one knows what that means.
Pull your triggers.
Okay. All right. So now we're back to the
Oh.
end of Dayla's turn.
No,
right?
you know what? It's my boat. I want it to be a trigger
Alright.
pulled in haste.
Air pole today. It's my action, right?
Correct.
Shit, I don't. Let me. Oh, I know. Okay,
These
I
actions
would
just
like.
sneak up on us.
I would like to start a. I would like to start a project.
I love starting projects.
I would like to start a bug
Oh, hell yeah.
rock bone project to see if we can figure out if these, because they obviously have some sort of energy draining qualities, and they also have some sort of like sleep or like they can like sort of knock you out kind of thing, like they put you to sleep and
Yeah.
whatnot to hold you there to be prey basically. So would like to do a little bit of experimenting to see if we can harvest any of these qualities from either the bugs or
Yeah.
the bone plant.
What kind of juice these bugs got?
Yeah, we gonna let's check out some bug juice. See if it's the quenchiest.
With quenchiest, but without disturbing the delicate ecosystems as
Yes.
Senor
Yeah,
Zahida
yeah.
has
We're
admonished us.
just experimenting right now. We're just
Um,
taking a little, just seeing what it does. Maybe it doesn't even. Maybe we take it back up to the towers and try to look at the shit, and it doesn't.
Love it.
It's all dead or something.
Hey, babe, what them bugs do?
What them bugs do though?
um,
What them bone plants do?
how many weeks is that?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
We gotta do some. Yeah, we gotta do some. You know.
Yeah.
We gotta do some experimentation. We gotta theorize and hypothesize and whatnot.
Well, you do, guess how do you do it? Do you
Yeah.
crush the bugs? Do you crush the
Yeah.
bugs to get
Exactly.
the
Do you
juice?
eat
You
them?
gotta chew them up. Got chew them up, spit them out, and get the juice.
Yeah.
You gotta
You
roll them out,
boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Why are we all idiots?
Mash them, stick them in a stew. Tell me what them bugs do.
I think I need to leave.
A bug eaten in haste.
Lord. All right.
A bug launched in haste.
It is my turn, and it is the king of diamonds.
Yeah.
Hot summer days lead to anger and paranoia among the monsters. Choose one. Community leaders spend the week silencing dissent. This week ends immediately. Or the the community leaps into frenzied action. Start a dangerous project.
Oh, dude, raise the dead. Let's do it.
Oh shit. Yeah, I think that's what I have
Go
to
for it.
do.
Yeah, you have to decide what kind of cartographer magic we
Yeah, but which dead are we raising?
try to bring back dead flying Mathos, of course.
Not
You
the
wouldn't bring back
child.
young, yeah, not the
Oh.
child. Fuck, yeah,
I forgot
Oh.
I forgot about the kid. That's right. We got
You're
a dead
letting your
kid, don't we?
personal distaste for children enter the game.
Yeah,
I just forgot. You ever forget?
happened to me.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna raise the dead. How many weeks does it take to raise the dead?
I mean,
To
cartographer. Can
Yeah.
we even read cartographer?
some of us, can. That has been established.
Okay, good.
Um,
Great, love that for us.
I mean, we did the work of cataloging that library, so
yeah, that's true.
we can.
I'd say if bug crushing takes 3 weeks, I'm gonna say raising the dead takes at least 5.
All right.
No,
Oh.
I disagree. Bug crushing's much more difficult than raising the dead.
Shut the
Listen,
hell no.
I just want my magic to be easier than
Crushing
than my
bugs.
science.
Just like the real world.
Yeah, I would just like magic to be easier than science, please.
Oh Lord. All right. Tick them clocks. And then I'm gonna start a project. And the project I'm gonna start is
Starting 2 projects?
well, that
Greedy
one
bitch.
yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm gonna start a project. We've got some of this knowledge from this library, and we've got access to some things. We've learned some things about the orrery and all this sort of stuff. So we're like getting into some cartographer magic here. We're gonna really apply ourselves. And we're not just gonna build a boat. We're gonna trick the fuck out of this thing.
Oh yeah.
So we are going to
We put machine guns on the side.
trick out the boat. But
Hot
like,
tubs on every level.
but apply
Arnold Schwarzenegger on our crew.
but like applying some of the things that we're learning, and we're gonna make this boat that no one sees coming.
Hey, our boat shoots bullets that bring people back to life.
You know it.
Uh,
And
our boat literally sends you into last week.
Our boat shoots bullets that take you back to when your parents were alive.
Damn.
Our boat shoots bullets that bring you back to when your mother was proud of you. Never. It's oblivion for a lot of you.
We just vicious mockery the entire armada and never actually have to fight them.
Yeah, even better, it takes you back to the alternate reality where your mother actually is proud of you.
Our boat
It's
brings your dad back
non-canon,
from
by the
getting
way.
milk.
That's not canon that your mother's proud of you. This is fanfic. We send you to fanfiction.
Bad enough.
Our boat sends you into fanfiction.
Lord. All right. So with that, summer is over. We are into autumn.
Fuck yeah.
Again,
We did it.
Disclaimer: these seasons are, it's not the naming of the seasons is arbitrary. We're not actually in summer and autumn. Although maybe the seasons are in one of the towers. I don't know. Who knows? So I do think at this point, the river dries up completely.
My river.
By Sifwesi. And the reason is because Tovol moved. Or Tojeth. Tojeth moved.
Fucking
So Sifwesi is going somewhere else now.
Did she come back?
But she's not coming this way. So that's just
hell yeah, I'm loving that.
a thing that happens.
It's just mud.
Dry riverbed. Bummer.
Real bummer, man.
Okay. Joe, you get the first card of autumn. I will probably why don't we go like a handful of cards into autumn and then call it.
That'd be perfect.
Great. That sounds great. All right, first card of autumn, I think, right? Yes, great. Okay.
It's the ace of clubs.
It's the ace of spades.
It is the ace.
Oh my goodness.
Because they're in
Your
order.
community
They're not in order.
becomes obsessed
They're not in order.
with a particular taboo from the occupation. Which one? Why?
Ooh.
Okay. Before I even read the next thing, I'm gonna pick.
Going for the.
Yeah. Let me.
Yeah. What's the taboo?
Well, I mean, I got to go with my own here.
The jewelry.
Well, you know what? No, the giant creatures.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's get them involved.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are your options?
Yeah. Why are they obsessed with them?
Well, Brack specifically. Black Masses Brack, that motherfucker.
Just Black Masses. Just Captain Ahab.
Yeah. Ahab.
Wait, okay, I'm sorry. So the giant creatures are these things, right?
These,
Or are
the top
they-
of
or-
the
these things here, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Tower of
sorry.
Ascension.
Yeah,
Big
okay.
doggies.
I think now here's my question before we move on, because I might change.
Uh-huh.
Caches. Have we done anything with the caches of jewelry yet at all?
I mean,
not
one
for-
of the Iridias got obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And was getting like, wasting away because she was obsessed with them and trying to make them and replicate them.
Okay.
Maybe there was some cartographer magic involved with that. We don't really know for sure.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I'm going to change it to the caches of jewelry.
Okay.
I think they feel that all of the animosity between the different prime groups, it is emanating from this jewelry, and the Iridia
Ah,
that's been obsessed with it. I can't remember. I think it's listed on the sheet somewhere.
that
One of these Iridia.
is. That's
Seasons Iridia.
Seasons Iridia.
She's been secretly putting pieces of the jewelry in people's pockets, on
Oh!
their under their beds, like hanging it in places, and yeah, and everyone has realized now that this has come to light that Twilight's Iridia has been wearing like a tiara that Seasons Iridia has given her. And she's been wearing it ever since she started, essentially trying to seize power.
Mm-hmm.
I think people realize that this
Damn, we all got the
brings,
one ring.
yeah, that
We
the
got the many
jewelry is bringing
various
out the
jewelries.
absolute worst like traits out of anybody who wears them. And because Iridias are like love jewelry in general, they've been wearing
They
them.
were the ones that have been, yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so which of those two options are you choosing here?
Um let me go down. I'm gonna
'Cause-
say
We had to do the first one, right?
you're talking about the Raise the Dead one?
No, I mean
They
the
refuse to
first
work
option.
until all
So you-
signs
yeah,
of
so
the
you
beds
have-
Yeah, I
moved.
think so.
Okay.
I think it has to be. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it has to be that one. I was gonna try to say, like, yeah, but that's fine. I think it makes most story sense that they want to get rid of all the jewelry
Okay, how do they get rid of it all?
by melting it down,
Oh, okay.
and I think they
Have to destroy it.
yeah, they to kind of destroy it, they melt it down, and then they think that that's not enough, and they go into the new like muddy bed of Sivwesi, and they
Oh,
bury it
no.
in the muddy bed.
I'm sure that can only end well.
Yeah, this will only end well. If
Uh,
Westy gets corrupted, the
yeah, right.
entirety of Toadjet's population is drinking, mad water.
Well, I mean, the water's not there anymore, so.
Yeah. Well,
Mad
yeah,
water.
we don't have to worry about it at all.
I was
It's
gonna
like
say
mad cow disease, but
you can
way
like go
worse.
into the chamber of horizontal conjunction, like toss it the other direction from the water.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what's there, so it could be anything.
Not our problem.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we've been throwing
Spawning
all of
our
our
problems.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where all our trash goes.
It's just a big furnace.
We're emptying our chamber pots over that.
Oh,
It
my
turns
Lord.
out it's a portal to just one dude's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
Come
what the fuck?
Okay, so none of these get reduced this week. If you want to draw something about a buried cache of jewelry and get rid of all these jewelry caches, Joe. All right. And then you get to take an action.
Do we remove that taboo then?
Oh, well,
I would say so. Yeah. I mean,
if you still
because
all
if it's got
signs
to
of the
be
taboo
removed,
has been stripped away. I mean, I guess, yeah.
I'm going to do we uncover something old.
Okay. I can just
More jewelry.
No, it's oil-like substance in the riverbed under Safwesi.
interesting. Okay.
And it starts to seep and lay on the top of the ground.
So like digging a hole for the jewelry and you found this.
Yes.
Great. That sounds good. All right. So go ahead and draw that, both of those things.
Wait, is this
Is this our Blood of Tober one?
well, is this Fern Gully?
Frankly.
What happens
Tim
in
Curry
Fern
comes
Gully?
out of the
With the smoke monster played by
Tim Curry.
yeah, Tim Curry. My toxic love.
I love that movie.
All right. Breck, Chris is next. And you get the 7. I told you it wasn't in order. 7 of clubs. Uh-oh.
7 of clubs. Humans arrive. Monsters arrive.
Cartographers.
Yeah, cartographers arrive and destroy something that was adopted after the occupation. What is it? Does the community retaliate? Alarming weather patterns destroy something that was adopted after the occupation. What is it? How does the community interpret the loss? Ooh.
Ooh, how crazy you want to get up in here.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddies.
Cartographer shows up. How does the community respond? They don't. They're all dead. Game over.
I
Over.
think a cartographer does arrive,
Oh, yeah.
but they don't enter the towers. They wipe out the trading post.
Damn.
And they're just kind of, I mean, they're like on their way past, basically.
Okay. I mean, I think technically they're saying destroying something that was adopted, so one of the adoptions.
Oh,
Maybe they get rid of maybe they fucking destroy the flying thing and Mathos's grave. And damn,
no,
maybe they
Dan's saying
fucking
one of the adoptions would be the portals, the death ritual, or the
Yeah, that's
Ori.
what I'm saying is the death ritual religion thing, like with Mathos's.
A
We did put
cartographer shows
something
up
in
and
there.
destroys an idea. It's like, no, this is ours.
Hey, you. He just comes in and goes, "You don't fucking do that. That's our thing." Or alarming weather patterns destroy something that was adopted after the.
I mean, yeah, I think there. I mean,
It does
there
make me think we don't have enough adoptions.
there probably are things like I think you're right in that like those wingsuit things are probably something that we could say are adoptions. Well, I mean, why don't we do this? Let's take a second to update these lists.
Like I would consider the trading post an adoption.
Well, but that's not something we've adopted because adoptions are things
From there, yeah, that's true.
cartographer things that we have co-opted for our
That's
own
true.
uses. I mean
The library.
The library. I was just gonna say the ghost library is for sure. That's probably it. While we're doing this, are there any taboos that we
Maybe the jewelry, like if we happen
well
to
the
just
jewelry
not.
is gone.
Yeah, that's true. We destroyed. Yeah, we destroyed it. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Which I wonder if even to be like totally sure that is because it says they refuse to work until all signs of the taboo have been stripped away. I wonder if like in combining your thing with the oil or whatever, if like they were trying to find ways to get rid of it and they were digging and find this oil and somehow discover that like putting the melted jewelry in the oil or whatever like dissolves it completely so that it's like gone. Um
That'd be real nice.
because you know we didn't tick down clocks that week because we were dealing with that, so I think it should be pretty severe, but okay. I mean, I don't think I don't know if there's anything else that I would say is would be taboos. So anyway, what you got? What are you thinking?
Hmm. I think um I think it is a cartographer is seen in the tower,
Oh shit. Okay.
in the Tower of Dissension. Um, and they're seen at the portal to the ghost library,
Okay.
and now the portal to the ghost library is inert.
Okay. That's
Um,
terrifying.
I also think that in addition to that, uh, Yesterweek's Iridia cannot be found either.
Oh. Okay.
What would you say? What was that last thing you said, Chris?
Hmm?
What was that last thing you said?
No one can find Yesterweek's Iridia either.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
All right. So we can't get into the ghost library. Um that makes some of these projects fun.
Yesterweek's Iridia disappears completely.
Okay.
We're bombing in Prod right now, so I gotta go.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Bye,
That's fine.
At
buddy.
least I waited till 9.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah, this was great.
Bye.
This was really fun.
Yeah, we'll close this down and then we'll pick up.
I can, yeah. If, I don't know
In
when
6
you have
months.
time.
Yeah.
let's not wait this long.
I mean,
We can.
yeah. Well, let's see how this good works out. But okay, cool. All right. So then the clearing out the Tower of Dissension
Chris,
finishes.
do we get a description of this cartographer?
Ooh.
Is it big like the other ones? Is it little? Is it
Now we're asking the
No,
questions.
it's big like the other ones.
If you want some inspiration, I can give you names.
Fungus?
Fungus. This one's name is Grungus, actually. Um,
And then I have 2 more.
That's the other thing, Dan. When we see a cartographer, is it like you just immediately know its name, or is this just for the DM? Is this just for your benefit?
Yeah, I think someone said
Like, are we given some sort of like, you're just like, oh, I just know its name.
yeah, someone said that in the last session, and I think that is such a cool idea that like when you it's just like you see it, and even though you know nothing about it, it's just like its name just like impresses itself upon you.
yeah, I think it's the level one.
The level one?
Yeah.
All right. The level one.
It's not that scary. It's just level one.
Level one. Um. Right. Any other descriptional things?
No.
All right.
Are they are do they do they have like faces? Like, do they have like humanoid features and stuff?
I don't know.
Okay.
Depends.
I just made him up.
I
Sick, yeah. Are they just glowing light? Like,
I mean, it depends. It depends on the thing. My sort of very loose guiding principles for these is I'm taking the name, and I'm taking inspiration from that, and uh, you know, using that to sort of define some kind of loose um uh kind of impression of a power set, so to speak. And I think it's interesting that like all of them are very different, um, depending upon the way that they've sort of become whatever it is that this name is. Uh, that it's
this one's perfectly symmetrical.
yeah, I mean, in the way that, especially in the way that these names like impress themselves upon you, it's not even that like this is something that they uh you know decided to call themselves, and therefore it's like they've become like the truest version of whatever
Yeah.
like that concept
Biblically
is.
biblically accurate angels.
Yeah. um yeah, so it's yeah, it is this very sort of like um uh transcendent, like who even knows like what really this is, but
Well,
You
and I
don't
picked
even know that you're looking at a cartographer until you're looking at them.
mhm.
and I picked the level one because it sounded like the one that would actually like
oh, these people don't need access to this information. I'm just gonna go in there and close
I'm just
this.
gonna take it.
Mm.
Like,
They're also not a threat to me in any way, so I
right.
do not
So
feel the
he's
need
like,
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
Joke's on
maybe
him. We already found the raise the dead spell.
Yeah.
Eee.
still working on that though.
Yeah, and I mean, in some ways, that's like that much more terrifying because I mean, for one, that this thing can just like get in here on a whim and be like, oh yeah, let me just close that. You don't need that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put
Oh,
a little note here for myself.
the ants found the sugar bowl.
Yeah,
Better move
exactly.
that.
Yeah, stop that. Let me see what they'll do.
Writing a little note here so that I remember what I wanted for that.
Great.
So I don't forget.
Okay, so clearing out the Tower of Dissension. I think there is something about this that changes, like their objective that kind of changes based on that admonition they received. So I'm curious, Dale, if you have like suggestions or ideas about like what that might look like. In terms of like, hey, maybe we aren't just like killing all these things, even though they are, they're clearly hostile. But you know,
I think she just tries to, they spend a couple weeks clearing out the bottom of this tower, like, how what was it, 4 weeks or something like that. I think she attempts to convince them after they've got it out of the anger, like out
mhm,
of their system in the first like couple weeks, and being like, listen, I understand that you're angry, but truly I don't think that this is a logical. I understand your frustration, but disrupting this balance could be detrimental to us and everyone else, like
mhm.
everyone who lives in this tower. Like, we're a community, all of us together. So like I really hope that, like, I can't make you stop doing this, but I hope you'll consider what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so whether you set that up with the Fawyts, so whether or not they heed her words,
I
I
think
feel like is up to you. But she tries to make the argument that, hey, we should be careful, regardless of how frustrated and hurt and like terrible we feel about this isn't the way.
mhm. Yeah, I
Also,
think
I'm gonna draw an X here on the library.
oh yeah. Red door. Um I think what it is yeah, there is that point at which they are able to filter out the raw emotion of their, just trying to rage on something.
Mhm.
And they uh I think they make like a kind of a discovery as they're doing this, that uh I think what they find that one of them.
Like, do they discover if disrupting the balance actually affects the towers, or is it like, oh, they killed a bunch this week, and then the next week they come back, and there's still kind of the same amount? Like, are the towers actually affected by our presence, or
Hmm.
is it like this is Mother Earth and she will do what she wants, regardless of whether or not we,
That's a
try
really,
to.
yeah, that's a really good point. I think, yeah, I think they do find that. Oh yeah. Okay, you know what it is. Um, uh, so they kill a whole bunch of these things, and what they realize that does is in the parts that they've because they were trying to like sort of I think work their way down, like starting at the top and sort of
Mhm.
work their way down kind of a thing. Um, as they were killing him, they were realizing that the plants uh weren't growing as much in that area. And then the next day, uh the 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 pristine version of it wasn't as pristine.
Oh, nice. Okay. So we can in fact affect the ecosystem of this place.
Yes. And so they basically figure out that it is this sort of cyclical system where the uh somehow these things are like feeding the plants, and that the plants growing is what re re sort of fixes somehow all of the decay. And so it's this really weird uh kind of cycle that's been built, um that that messes it all. So they stop that. um yeah, and I think the other thing that they sort of realize in the process of this is uh that these corrupted quill, uh which are the little like sort of scaly things with little like dragonfly wings and the lights and then another tail, um uh they they were like purposefully, maybe they're like examining some of the ones they killed or something like that, or someone does. um and they realize that these things were like definitely like intentionally cartographerized in this really like grotesque way, but it was serving this very specific person, or sorry, very specific purpose. So it's almost like that, like they almost get the sense that this whole area was like a big experiment in some ways,
Oh, interesting.
that the cartographers were uh trying to figure out how to fix this problem of this decay thing, and fixed it, quote unquote, by creating this really uh complex and kind of messed up like eco cycle, um with these creatures, that they twisted these things in a way that forced them into their purposes. So it's this really uh yeah.
Um, can you put a little note next to Sidereal Zahida?
Mm-hmm.
That she's like sort of appointed herself as like the like I don't not like the voice of the tower or anything like that, but that she's like
Yeah.
uh tries to advocate for keeping the ecosystems as they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to put something next to Yesterweek's Iridia that she is
Missing in action.
yeah missing
Oh yeah. Yeah.
post
Yeah.
uh post cartographer sighting?
Can't wait for the we they are us plotline.
I'm taking us there whether you want us to or not.
Okay, I ticked those all down. And then Chris, you get to do a thing, right? An action.
I do.
Yeah.
I do get to do an action.
Do.
I do.
Yeah, why don't we do this, and then Dela, why don't we go ahead and do your turn? So because you clearly had something you were intending to do.
Yes,
let's
yeah.
take your
I was
turn.
gonna write a note if we.
Yeah, let's take your turn, and then we can call it after that.
Okay.
So it better be a good cliffhanger.
Okay.
No pressure, but also
Yeah.
lots of pressure.
I'm gonna uncover something old.
Okay.
And I think while the group of Iridias that were looking for that were working in the library
Mm-hmm.
are kind of searching for a way back into it.
Okay.
They discover a room, another room that is filled with maps.
Okay.
But these maps have what are pretty obviously battle plans
Oh.
on them.
Okay.
And they don't know what those necessarily are for or when they when they relate to.
Uh-huh.
But it's pretty clearly a large scale war that
Yeah.
is either being planned or occurred in the past.
Nice. Okay. I'm gonna throw in one extra detail here.
Okay.
A lot of this is stuff that doesn't make a ton of sense. Like there's bits and pieces that you can pick out. This is the Iridias that you said that are finding this.
Yeah.
One of them.
So it's the ones, the people in the tower most able to read them are the things that the people that come across them, which is nice. But
one of them, while they're all sort of looking through this and trying to decipher them, one of them like screams, like shrieks, and points out a mostly sort of indecipherable reference that it's hard to understand the context. But from what she's looking at, it is clear that there is a mention of Tandara. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Here we go.
There we go. I'm just gonna have to start a project figuring out what the fuck's going on in there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Is that what is this square?
That's for me.
Oh, that's for you. Okay, great.
That's for me.
That's for me.
You can't have it.
All right, well, yeah, make that room.
I'll make my own square.
Good.
My own square.
With blackjack and hookers.
Okay, so Dela, this is your turn. This is
Great.
the 8 of clubs.
8 of clubs. The 8. A new set of customs emerges within the community, sparking controversy. Who practices these customs? How are they treated? A single monster arrives looking to take a mate. How is this desire expressed in plumage or manner? Which monster here do they fancy?
That in and of itself is kind of wild.
That is kind of wild. And it also makes me think of the Fawyts outside of the
Ah, okay.
Hey, but
um
I know we did some bad shit before, but we're really fucking horny, guys.
New set of customs emerge within the community, sparking controversy. Who practices these customs and how are they treated? Um, boy, both of those are kind of difficult. Think. Wow, this is tough. I can't really decide on either one of these. I mean, what? Clearly, the customs. New set of customs emerges within the community, sparking controversy. So it has to be something with the cartographers, right? Like, what else would it?
Sure. I mean, one did just show up here, so
Um,
Which one are you doing?
number 8. A single monster arrives looking to take a mate. How is its desired expressed in Plumenger manner? Which monster here do they fancy? I mean, do I have to take that one word for word?
not
Like, do they
necessarily.
have to? Because I was gonna say I think I like this second one better,
Okay.
but I would prefer if it was like one of the Fawyts, one of the civilian Fawyts, uh, really wants to come back into the community,
Mm-hmm.
in a way that's maybe, uh, like, suspicious to some people. That
Interesting.
like
Okay.
maybe we can't really tell, like, all of the dusk Fawyts are like, no, she's lying, don't let her in, but some of the more pacifist ones, and I think uh maybe even Moonrise's Fawyt is like, we can't afford to like lose more people, like it would be
Mm.
sort of a blessing to have one, like coming back into the fold. Like I know that the one who killed Morning's Iridia is already gone. Like that retribution has already been taken. Like there's no point in us continue. Like we have to decide to make the change. We can't continue to seek retribution
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for
we got to
things
be the
over and
change we
over
want to see
again.
in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I feel like I would want to take that second one if I didn't have to take that so literally and be like, yeah, she's trying to bang someone in the.
Yeah. No, sure. I mean, I think I am totally fine
Got a
with
real
going
Iridia
for
fetish.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
something
because I feel
interesting.
I feel because the first one immediately makes me think of like one of the Iridias taking on some sort of the cartographer, and I feel like
Mm.
we've done plenty of
We're
we've done a
moving
lot of
on.
cartographer stuff and we've done a lot of Iridia stuff
Moving on
recently.
from
So
the
I
Iridia
think
episode.
I think we need to bring one more
Moving on from the Iridia
Fawit back
episode.
into the, you know, sort of back into the fold.
Yeah.
But it is suspicious, and she's like, I can't, maybe her reasons are like maybe a bit flimsy, but at the same time, like if you want real protection, like the other Fawits came down and just murdered that one.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, well, clearly we can't protect ourselves. Like I might as well just come back up here
Yeah.
where I am protected and don't have to steal resources. Like you would just feed me.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the
Or
reasons
would
are a bit
they?
selfish. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I would say that's a Fawit attempts to come back into the fold.
All right. So that leaves 3 of them out there, right?
3 lone Fawyts.
3 outer Fawyts.
Okay. So Harvest of the Qualities completes.
Right. I'm totally stealing this because I love the idea so much, but there's a thing in D&D called, it's a poison. It's called crawler mucus, and it can be harvested from a dead or incapacitated crawler, which is I don't know, I kind of, when he was like talking about the plants and like how they worked, that's like kind of how I like imagined it working, and the fact that they make you tired and stuff. So what happens is when you are in contact with this poison, it paralyzes you. And so I think what we discover about the bone plants and the bug mucus is that when refined to its most purest form, we can create a poison of paralysis
Nice.
from these sort of symbiotic uh this plant and this bug together.
Yeah, yeah.
Love that.
So yeah, we've managed to create a very powerful paralytic. And I'm gonna make a
Now the
little
question is that something we're putting on offer in the trading port?
our trading port that just got absolutely demolished.
No, it didn't.
It was
It
the
Oh.
didn't
library,
happen.
remember?
Oh, the life. You're right. Yeah, I forgot that was a.
In an
I'm
alternate
gonna make.
reality, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, an
We're
alternate reality got torched.
I'm putting a
starting.
little Yzma's Cusco's poison. The poison for Cusco.
Yes. Is it purple?
Starting
Yes.
our own
Yes.
black market poison
At the
trade
very
here
least, we know we can give this to our
to the primes.
own people. Yeah, to the
Mm.
primes.
I bet Mathos would love to make a smoke bomb out of that.
Yeah. What
Cusco's.
kind of
Cusco's.
things can be tricked out on the boat with
Yeah, we make a.
really cool paralytic
We
Don't
poison?
you know
Hey,
I'm thinking about that?
hey, our ship shoots bullets that paralyze you and send you back to a time when your mom was proud of you.
They send you back to the time where your mom is proud of you in the alternate reality, but you're paralyzed, so you can't
And
respond to it.
yeah, you
So
can't
then
do
she
anything
thinks you're
about it.
upset with her, and then she
Yeah.
She kills
cries,
herself
and then
in front of you.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. 2 shots of vodka.
Good lord.
So yeah, that's what I think the bug harvest and
All
the
right.
bone harvest.
Okay, you've got your action.
Yes, my action is
Take us
that
home.
I would like to uncover something old,
All right.
and I would like
Make it good.
the forest room, the
Yeah.
one. We discover something about the trees, and I think I'd like that something to be that we've made a pretty good, I would say, like, we've made a dent in sort of the immediate surrounding area of this place, right?
Mhm.
Like, um uh and I think that the further into this forest we get, um that we find out there's something living in it.
Ah!
And I'm unsure of what that something is, but there is definitely something.
There's movement in the forest.
Yeah, there's movement in the forest, and it's sinister in nature. We know that for a fact. Like, you, at the very least, you feel like that sort of like hair raising, like eyes on the back of your head, like
Yep.
you are actively being watched and hunted. So I'm not sure what that thing is, but there's something in the forest.
There's a question mark, exclamation point in the forest.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that's are we thinking of the because the version of this in my head is just like you walk out this portal door into a forest, and it's not like a room or anything. It's like you're just like
I'm
walking
just
out
putting.
into a forest,
Yeah, exactly.
and there's
That's
some
what I consider
weird
it too.
sky.
I
That's some
do
weird
think that.
color.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't. I'm not sure that
it's
it's
the
native
holodeck.
to. Yeah, it's the holodeck.
Yeah.
It's the holodeck episode. I'm not sure that we think this is native to Olarden or Tendar. Like it
Oh
could
yeah.
be
I mean,
some
like
other place entirely.
the two towers here are like that's not native to anything anywhere.
Yeah,
That
I
one
do
of them has
think
two
that
suns.
I do think that we believe that the portal arrives in the same spot every time because we've like sort of made maybe this like
Mm,
little clearing,
okay.
and so that's how we know where we like are
Sure.
always showing up and stuff. But I think other than that we're like, what? Sorry, huh?
Nice.
Who's here? There we go.
Love it. All
So
right.
yeah, there's
What's in the
the wood.
forest? Find out next time on
Oh, thank God I got all that out of my head so I don't have to remember it for next time.
I feel you. All right. Well, hey, look at that. We're 3 cards into autumn. So exactly
Same
where
as last
we
time.
were. So we just had to finish autumn and then, however much of winter we get. Great.
Perfect.
Okay.
Cool.
Wait. Is that Joe?
Yeah, I've been here the whole time.
Oh. She left.
No, I've been working on work.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Chris, is that a trampoline that you drew in that room?
Oh, it's
What is it?
a little war table with pieces
Oh.
Yeah, trampoline.
Oh.
and a border.
You know what though? That would be nice for it would be nice
Just
for
some
these guys to have
recreation.
just a recreational room, like a gym, there's like a smoothie bar.
Yeah, there aren't enough amenities in this.
Yeah.
Start a project.
Yeah. Uh,
Build me a hot tub worthy of Mordor.
uh,
All right. Wow. Okay. All right. Bye.